All right, welcome to this afternoon session. We were doing 3 different applications at once, and we're going to build on with those ones. And while we build those ones, we'll listen to some music and just have a great time. So tune in and feel free to engage with the comments. I'm so much looking forward to this live stream. The one in the morning was super interesting, I think. So we did quite a lot of interesting stuff on building out our agent fabric. So basically we're building out a system whereby we can run multiple agent-oriented applications inside the same substrate and make sure that agents can communicate with each other, and all of this voice controlled. And so where we left off was that we were fixing the voice control, making sure that it worked better, and we are just about to test that. We've also been working on our gaming platform, which is an online game where you can connect your GitHub account to see how many commits you're doing and to see how many tickets you're turning over. This is still a very early project. We started it last Friday, and I've just slowly been wipe coding our way through it, and hopefully we'll get to the point where you guys can join on that platform. It's going to be a free service where we have a front end and a back end, and you log onto the front end and then everybody can come together, chat together, and we'll see what kind of fun things we can add into that. Where we left off was that Claude was doing a bunch of changes to our coding agent, or to our coding fabric, and we need to test whether that's working now. One of the things we're trying to do is separate the sound that's coming from the speaking system from the voice synthesis to my mixer here, so we can still listen to great music while we're interacting with the agents. The other thing we did work on was getting to a point where we could try out the game. We did get it to work, but then when we tried it out, there was some bug where it was reconnecting. I don't know what Codex is with that, but let's have a look. So it seems that Codex has fixed that now, and or at least claims to have fixed it and have set up a service. Let's start by just logging on there and see what's going on. Right, so here's our very simplified gaming server. We can walk around. Oh, but it does that reconnecting thing a lot. Let's see if it keeps on doing that. So for those who aren't aware what this is, we're going to build basically a gather town replica, but what we will do is slightly different. We want to make this into an online world where indie hackers can join, or basically anybody who's coding, and in particular vibe coding. So let's say the platform is for vibe coders who want to connect their stats and just have a place to hang out. And let me try to bring in a secondary player in this world, see what happens if we do that. Last time we ended up with that it wanted to reconnect all the time. See what happens if we do it this time. Hey, so I appear now. It still feels a bit laggy, but that's something to send back to Codex. Also, I think at this point we probably want to have some improved graphics, right? In principle, we could ship this already and people could just log on and walk around, right? You would not be able to do much, but at least you'd be able to... Oh, right, see now it does the reconnecting thing. Okay. So this still seems to be pretty brittle. It doesn't do a great job at keeping the connection. So we see this reconnecting all the time, which is really suboptimal. And watching another player move is, it basically feels very laggy. We need to make sure that connectivity is top performant and super reliable. Whether or not we will open source this project, I haven't really decided that yet, but this feels like something that could be open sourced. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Okay, let's let Codex work on that and get back to what we were doing with the OneUp substrate. So I think one thing we should do this afternoon is we should probably prepare to make a release of this app as well. I don't think we'll get quite to the point where it's releasable, but I think it would be great to just get it out there so people can try it out. And I think the first versions are just going to be completely free. And then we'll see what the feedback is, if people like it, don't like it. Let's check this out. Actually, let's bring up the settings screen first. We want to see if we can. Want to be able to direct the voice. Oh, what happened to the music now? It just disappeared. Ah, came back. So we set this to max speakers. Let's start out by doing the chat and just check if that works. Hey, can you hear me? Hello, are you there? Okay, I think we need to get the music off because I think right now the music is preventing that we can hear if it comes out of the normal speakers. Are you there?
Let me check what's open so we can stop anything that might be playing music. I'll try to pause the common music and browser players now. I couldn't run the system pause command from here. Please pause or quit the music app manually, or mute the music source. Then we can test the normal speakers.
Okay, so a couple of things that didn't happen here. We requested a stop button. I don't see a stop button anywhere. But we wanted to say when the agent goes off on a tangent, we need to be able to stop it again because we don't want to end up having it do random damage on our computer. The second thing is it doesn't seem to be directing the sound correctly. So let's go back and see what Claude actually said about this. Let's see, it claims behind it, the chat interrupt, an epoch, not a flag, because stop has to survive being pressed. But the thing is, I don't see a stop button anywhere. The send button becomes stop. Oh, is that a fact? I didn't. Okay, so that's actually wrong, right? Because we can continuously throw messages at the assistant while it's talking. So the send button should become a stop button. It needs to be separate. But let's check if it's actually true what Claude is saying here. It probably is. What are you up to today?
I'm here with you, helping sort out the audio and anything else you want to check.
Okay, so the send button did not become a stop button, clearly. Or at least the text didn't change. So we need to deal with that. All right, that's over here. Okay, so 1. So more we actually want to be able to send messages direct what it is doing. Hence, we need a separate stop button. Cool. Okay, speaker. Let's see, what does it say there? Routing was applied and applied to a detached new audio, and after to audio routing still doesn't work. Okay. Since we don't need a separate stop button. To audio routing still doesn't work. That's a bit of an issue, and we really want that to work. and it's point free, interrupting speech. This one never worked at all, and the reason is worth stating. Button matched base speaking, which is entered once the whole turn has come to an end. Actually, we didn't test whether this is working. Let's test it out. Get back to the app. Let's just try that and see if that actually works. Could you make a really long phrase?
Sure. Here is a really long phrase.
I want you to stop and do something else.
Golden
this
morning
doesn't work.
Wandered slowly
okay,
across
we
the
need to stop this. It's way too slow at stopping. It did stop at wandering, but
I'll stop trying that route. The system command was blocked. So the next step is to pause the music manually or switch to I'll stop the call now. I can't end the call because that command is blocked. Please hang up using the call controls. It sounds like the long phrase stopped partway through. I'll keep my reply short now so it doesn't get stuck again.
So I think we have a couple of options here, right? The first option would be to insist on doing it our way. I feel like this is going to be a lot of technical work and it might not be worth it for starters. So I think let's focus on getting it working well enough that we can use it to get the base system running. And then once the base system is really solid, let's reintroduce ChatGPT real time. That might be the better route to go. However, that said, we are going to ask Claude to do its best work here as well. We need such that feels 100% natural. Please carefully research how to do this best and then follow principles. Okay. So I think we we have two possible ways now, right? Either Claude will succeed at doing this version we're doing now. The other possibility is that it will not succeed, in which case our backup route is to re-enable ChatGPT real-time. I don't really want to go back to that route if I can avoid it. I think it would be really cool to get this working without having to rely on ChatGPT real-time. In particular because in the long run, I would love to have my own product that does the same thing as ChatGPT real-time, but that does require a bit of work. Cool. And so for those of you who are on Instagram and seeing this, I do apologize that the video is not better. This is the first time I'm experimenting with streaming, dual streaming, both to desktop and to mobile. And somehow it would be great if there was a way to configure this nicely, but it seems that there isn't. Seems kind of useless. Okay. So I can see the streaming to mobile together with desktop at the same time is actually kind of hard to get to work well. At least Restream doesn't have any great support for this. And that does make me feel slightly sad, because I would really love for this to work in such a way that we could stream to both platforms. I would have expected it to have an option to pick out what part of the screen I would stream to mobile, but it doesn't. right, I think we'll just have to go with it. Learning these things is messy, so let's take it as it comes. Let's get back to our game and see where we are with that. Almost done. Okay, so while that one is running, I think one of the things I really want to do is just plan a bit ahead now. But I have one thing to check before I do that. I wonder if the clipper is... That's creating nice clips, so that's actually pretty nice. Okay, so I think what we want to do next is we need to figure out how we're going to manage work trees and all of this. And it feels like we should have the apps attached to a single or multiple sources. So the question is, should we have the concept of sources really? So when we have our canvas or our workspace here, how should agents be able to... So an agent is typically started up in a certain directory. So we have here /users /tfr /documents projects and so on. Now that would be one source. We might have a few other of these, right? Might have one called videos. And then the question is, how should the agents interact with these? One possibility that I've tried in the past that did work quite nicely would be to simply make a tool directory. So we would move the agent from using its native tools to our MCP tools. If we would do that, we could do something like a directory of things. But even that, so not a directory, but what I mean is a mount point. So we're mounting these ones on through the TypeScript terminal and basically managing it that way. That could be one way of doing it. I do think this is going to be messy and not the right way. So probably what we want to do would be more something like having a primary... The workspace should have a primary working area. And then when we spawn the agent... we basically want the agent to have the possibility of having a... Is there a way to make the text small on this? Let's make that super small. So the agent should have its own working directory that it's going by. And so those directories should be inside the main workspace directory. That means that we could make it such that when we spawn up a Claude agent that it's always using subtrees or never using subtrees, depending on what we actually want to do. And that feels like a viable way to go about this. you have any proposals in how we would do this, feel free to give them in the comments. But something like this, and then we can make that a feature for later. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Okay. Codex is still working on our two platforms. So the fastcodes.io platform, it has now created an upload media. I wonder if it's taken into account that you need to chunk that media, because once we put this up on the internet and you want to upload a 5 gigabyte file, Cloudflare is going to be like, no. You get 100 megabytes. If you want more, you can buy our expensive thing. So it needs to do a chunking system. I don't think it has done that, but we'll see. I might be positively surprised. Actually, let's just ask it now. So that should steer it in the right direction. I'm almost certain it hasn't thought about that, because it's something that at least I wouldn't think of. Let's see if I was an agent. Oh, it actually did, it seems. Get out of my way. Let's see. Currently configured conservative. Okay, cool. Wow, I'm surprised here. It actually did something unexpected. If we already do this, chunks. Okay, I think this is something we need to research. How do we make a good setup for streaming both to mobile and to desktop? I'm pretty sure that if I go on my mobile now and I check out the stream, I'm pretty sure it will look like garbage. I do apologize for that, but you know, we're all learning here. And this is one of the things that I'm learning. Not even sure that this is working on Instagram. Okay, Claude is ready now to test again. Let's see what it has done, whether it's better, worse. So let's check out the settings. See, actually one thing I would want to do is just add a test button below the speaker. This should simplify things a lot. That's also what you do in a normal setup where you're using calls. So if you're going on a live call in Google or Microsoft or whatever, then you have this test button. This size play back a piece of sound. Let's see. We are going to test this, but I think we still want to have that test button. Hey, how are you doing? See, I don't think it's actually hearing us. Let's check out what the console is saying. So
Let me bring up the console so we can check what it is reporting. The console is open on the console tab now. If you want, I can also check the voice state from here.
okay, this seems to still not work. Let's see if interrupt works. Okay, the stop button
I'll
is
stay
there now.
quiet now, so you can
So
test
can you
interruption.
Can I interrupt you? Okay, so it did do the stopping.
Yes, you can interrupt me.
Let me try again.
Keep responses short.
Okay, so it's super fast.
Easy to test.
It's super slow at stopping.
Go ahead. I heard it's super shell at stepping. If that's not what you said, then transcription is mishearing you. I heard only that's.
Okay, we clearly have some work to do here. But maybe we shouldn't get too hung up on the details and instead just... the one thing we do want to have working is the audio protocol. So that's still not working. And even let's just give it a final test just to be sure. But if I go and do the Mac speakers, let's do that one instead. Could you say hello world?
Hello, world.
So that didn't work. It didn't come out of my Mac speakers. And so for that reason, this is just not working the way we want to. So let's get back to Claude. So this was awfully depressing and not what we had hoped for. So clearly we're not getting the level of genius and perfection that we've all been promised. I thought Opus 5 and Claude 5 or Opus 5 and Fable was supposed to just magically make my problems go away, but they don't. Unfortunately. So they are better than they used to be, but we still have work to do. In the meantime, the next version is ready here. Let's see what that looks like. Reconnecting. Okay, that's suboptimal. Let me check out how it looks on my other screen. Okay, it's definitely better than it used to be. but still a bit flaky. We saw the reconnecting signs before, so well, actually this is not too bad. And also the movement is nice and smooth now. So check this out. So when this character is moving, it's actually coming around nice and smoothly. So I'm running this character from another browser, and there's still a little bit of flakiness, but I think we can get past that. And you do get that occasional reconnecting, in particular if you run into things. Let's try that. Or if you stand still, the avatar can completely disappear. Interesting. Okay. So we do have some bugs to fix. So have a look here. If I run into things, it starts reconnecting. But actually, I'm pretty happy with this. This is really nice. So I wonder what we should do next. We do need some better graphics. I feel like that's definitely a thing. And the animations are also there. So previously we had some really good graphics, and that's all the way back in the beginning of the chat. So I think just to make it feel a little bit more real at this point, we should add that. I do wonder where that graphics is though. Again, getting back to my main motivation for building OneUp is that these kind of things that are important, like all the artifacts that we're generating and stuff like that, that's what we care about. All the text here in between is really not important to what we're doing here. And now I'm wasting my time just scrolling through this thing to find the things that was there they are, right? So this was what it envisioned initially, and I really like this. It looks super cool. And so I think let's try to just copy that. So let's see if we can get to a point where the game ends up looking super crisp and nice. Movement post, let's remove that one. All right, what's Claude doing? Still working. Nice. This is one of the most satisfying parts of doing this. Seeing how it's just coming up with the figures and making them look really nice. I love it.
Can't keep running around like this.
So chatting with Aris from last week about what else we should have in here. And so one thought would be to add wallets such that you could buy and sell stuff. I think that would be pretty good fun to do. So you could add crypto wallets and also make it so you could tip for using these things. All right, let's see how it's going with Claude. It is finished and claiming that it's done. Let's just see how convincing that is. I really hope we can get this multi-channel chatting going. That's really the number one thing that I want. So we have all the other things, right? We have the persistence, we have a few other things, and so we have the persistence of the agents, and now with this let's see. It's funny, it does that every time I enter the app. So the app is clearly missing. Okay, I'm going to stop the music for a second while we test this. The app is clearly messing with my sound system. Hey, that actually seems to work. Let's see, what does it do here?
This is the speaker a call will use.
Okay, let's try this now, because now I turned down the music.
This is the speaker a call will use.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
This is the speaker a call will use.
Funny, it seems that it's turning down the music.
This is the speaker a call will use.
That's just coincidental.
This is the speaker a call will use.
Okay, let's try this. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I can hear you coming through.
Okay, so you heard that, right? When I press this one, it's nice and loud.
This is the speaker a call will use.
But when the agent responds, it goes through a different channel. So it doesn't work. Interesting. Let's go back and tell Claude off for doing a bad job. Bad Claude. Fix this now, please. Okay. So when I press the test button, the right output device is used. When the agent speaks, it uses the system default. Cool. Okay. So I think let Claude work on fixing this, and let's get back to Codex and see how it's doing on the graphics. So definitely making progress here. But the thing is, it should extract the tiles. So it's extracted the character. That is done really nicely. And it's created it such that he can move around. Let's see how it's going with our fast codes. Yeah, so that should be done soon-ish. Maybe. Who knows? And let's see if this doesn't work out easily, then the fastest way we could deliver would be to skip videos altogether and just start out with text. So blogs and web pages. That might be the most viable way to go about that, because I do not want to miss the deadline. I do not want to die, so we do need to ship this. We need to figure out how to do that. Okay, let's check out codecs again. Oh, wait, wrong window. Oh, nice. I can see that it's actually doing stuff. So this is a window where it's testing out things. I wish I understood better how this UI works. I clearly don't understand it as well as I would like to. But you see that we have our character. Now, I think one thing it's misunderstood is it needs to basically take that map and tear it apart, right? So we want the tiles, we want the walls as individual building components. So let's just try to ask it if it's actually doing this. Individual components as you are supposed to. Wait, not for the components, for the floor, carpet, wall corners, and furnitures. These need to be separate. We don't want this to all be just one ginormous thing. Okay, so this really seems to... it's this one over here. Nice. That isn't half bad. I mean, the animation is still needing some work, but you know, we're getting there. Cool. Okay, so I think we just need to wait. Oh, nice. Now it's done that map for us. So we get the different furnitures, the doors, the carpet, and some tiles that are nicely repeatable. That's pretty amazing. I love how easy this is to do. I just love it. So back 5 years ago, I would never have been able to do something like this. I would have to go and buy the graphics from somebody. But because this is now possible to do with models, all I have to do is figure out what it should look and feel like, and then I can go and do it. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's let that work for a bit and get back to Claude that has now finished the job. Wait, where did the window go? Ah, here. So let's go back to voice, just test. It still works here.
This is the speaker a call will use.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, still here and listening.
Okay, this still doesn't work. I do not understand why this is so difficult for Claude to do. Like, it literally has done the right implementation here, and then when it comes to our call, it does the wrong implementation. I mean, how hard can it be? Let's see what it writes here. Okay. So I feel like what we need to do at this point is we need to get more data simply. We need to understand what's going on with the system. And so we're going to take a little detour where we're adding a log tab onto the chat console and then asking it to produce logs there, because this is just, it's ridiculous. This should be so easy to do. keyboard are we having here? Okay, it seems we have some progress over here. Nice. So now we have a completely custom map. Nice, and we have some plants now as well. Let's just try to explore the room a bit. Desks and computers and a shelf. Okay, so there is something about the boundaries of these objects that needs to be more clear. So it's clearly changing image as we walk. but it seems to be using... Let's just see. It seems to just be... Okay, so the walking image is actually not all that good. They look very similar. So the standing ones are great. But then as... Okay. Well, that's something that can be fixed afterwards. We don't need to fix that right away. Okay, let's check out what Claude is doing again. And I'm really looking forward to being in the place where we can move all of this into the OneUp workspace. So I think this is going to be absolutely amazing. So one thing I probably do want to do at this point is bring up Claude. And we can start adding a few more things. So we have some basic stuff going now, but I think we need to start preparing for making downloads available for OneUp, and let's do that. Let's just do a new chat here. Let's see. So the reason why I asked this is because what happened yesterday was that some key was exposed. And so Claude randomly during a live stream chose to expose one of my keys. And I wasn't really very happy with that. And I think that was actually the key that is meant to use for compound coders, but maybe not. I found the key, I invalidated it, but I still can't comprehend that a software like Claude Code and a company who goes on about security and tries to scare us all about how dangerous the new models are going to be has such a fundamental flaw in the software that it doesn't mask API keys. Oh. What's this? It's new. I haven't seen that before. Interesting. So they're playing around with different new things here. What does these icons do? Linked to computer. Add folder. Okay. So it seems that it's testing the bug that we just described to it before. And I really love this thing that it's interacting with the browser and just doing all the work of testing. This is one of the things that I think is so cool about Codex. There are a lot of negative things to say about Codex, but this is definitely one of the better things. And I do think if it came down to Codex and Claude, I do love the Codex UI way more than the Claude one. But I do feel that the models from Claude are slightly more reliable, slightly better at executing my instructions. And for that reason, I'm still using both of them. I've been trying to stop using Claude for a very long time now, and I'm actually only using a cheaper version of the subscription. I used to be on the $200 one. Now I'm on the $100 one, and I don't think that I will need to upgrade because that's actually sufficient for me. at least for now. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that was the key that I invalidated yesterday. It's listed but not actually working. The bridge to your Mac Studio is fine. Get device info returned instantly, but every compound fails. Admin, list courses, MCP help. They timed out after 60 seconds and came back. The retry came back with compound coder, blah, blah, blah. So tool schemas are registered, but the local should not be a local MCP server. Right, it is because we're running this through I think another feature that I would really like to have is auto-scrolling in the chat. I feel like that would really help me make sure that I always see the latest message when we're getting into this one here. So if we go back here and we do this one, whenever there is a message, it always just stays on where it is. And we probably want it so that it scrolls down to the bottom of things. That would probably be the nicest user experience. Okay, Claude claims to be finished. Let's go and check it out. I don't believe it, but maybe Claude is right this time. You never know. Wait, what happened? Something here went wrong because I have lost my screen. What has happened? That is quite strange. See what happens if I do that. All right, just bear with me for a second while I figure out why my screen stopped working. Not. So I clearly see it here, and it's coming out of my Mac, so... Oh wait, I don't think it actually... Yeah, it did stop working, so... Let's check out. 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 displays now. Strange. Ah, now it came back. No idea what went wrong there, but we're back. Let's bring this app down here. Just move it up. So we're going to test this again. And just for the sake of seeing that Claude hasn't destroyed this.
This is the speaker the
Nice.
call will use.
Nice, nice, nice. Could you say something?
I heard something.
Yeah, so this isn't fixed yet. And this is very disappointing, Claude. I do not approve of you not fixing things. And I wonder why this is such a hard thing for it to fix. It should be relatively straightforward. So let's try to jump into the terminal and have a look here. Right. Oh, wait. We haven't... Right, there should be a locking tab. That's me who forgets what we are actually doing here. And there is now. Okay. Holy moly. There is so much noise here. I suspect that will take a little bit of time before it actually pastes that. If it pastes it at all. Let's check, is there a file we can refer to instead? Yeah, there is. Okay. But they're all pasted now, so leave that. Okay. So we're going to try to get it to reason about what the problem is here, rather than just asking it to fix it, because it's failed now so many times at fixing this that I think we need to be slightly more thorough in our approach. Okay, let's get back to Codex and see where that's at. Is it actually doing anything? Oh, we have a nice blub here. Let's just... It still has the reconnecting issue. We now have a nice carpet. I mean, obviously these things could use a little bit more work. It's not the best graphics in the world, but honestly it's quite okay. Add a second player. So this is controlled from a different browser. We now have 2 players in the game. There's still a bit of glitches. Right. Sometimes they just outright disappear. Interesting. We definitely need to work on reliability. Where are we with this? Oh, it claims that it's 99, 99, and 100% done. So hopefully we can test the next version in just a bit. I think that'll be cool. So this is a very interesting take on, well, not a take, but really a very interesting observation that a lot of software is being open sourced, well, reverse engineered and open sourced. And I think that's true, but I also think that the key value was never the software itself. It was the service, the continuously running the service with a reliable outcome. So I think Post-its is a great example of that, right? And so what Peter definitely has right here is that this is happening, but I think you have great open source companies, and so there's nothing wrong with actually earning money on building great software. It's never the software per se you're paying for, it's often you're paying for the service and what the service provides. And as much as I'm slightly against Whisperflow, I would argue that they probably have that best dictation experience out there. I mean, I haven't found anything that gets anywhere near it. Even the things that I've been building myself is nowhere near it. But the fact of the matter was that I did try to make a clone of Whisperflow a couple of months back, and it took me a weekend. So it's not all that hard to do. It also goes to show that we are in a place where it's no longer just, I mean, that the technicality of the software is not your business differentiator. And I think maybe it never was. There will be things that are technical enough that they do differentiate you, but I don't think that great software or even a great product is the same as a great business. I don't think it ever was. And I think this is what people are all getting wrong. They all think that now we're in a position where software is so easy and cheap, so there's not going to be any software engineers, and the only thing that's left to do is marketing, and that's not true. Not any more true than it actually ever was. What is happening though is that we're changing the game of how we do everything, and that's not just software. We're changing the game on how we do marketing. We're changing the game for how we're doing software. We're changing the game on how we're doing even simple things. Just think about VA jobs. A lot of them are going to go away, or at least changing substantially, because we can now automate these things. You wouldn't want to hire VA for babysitting your inbox anymore, or at least you should be able to do this with an agent. If you can't do that job with an agent, I would put a big fat question mark on whether you can do anything with AI at all. And so I think those are probably the first jobs that would be highly affected by this AI revolution, or whatever you call what we're in. Okay, so we did figure out where that one is actually located. Okay, Claude is now finished. Let's test it out again. Let's read the small print here. The paste came through to me as an unreadable placeholder. My goodness, that's so useless. So I read directly. The two lines that settle it. Okay, I think there is a real chance that we have now solved it. Okay, and what seems to go on is that the device IDs might be different. Ah, okay. Let's try this out. I think there's a very real chance that we have solved this problem now. That would make me very happy indeed. Could you open settings? Could you open settings?
Give me a second to open settings. Settings is open.
Okay, this is better. It's coming out of the right speaker, but it's choppy somehow. And also, what's the thing with stopping my music all the time? Let's just check what's going on here. Let's see. If I do that here, will it stop my music? We need to just wait for some new music to come on.
This is the speaker a call will use.
Okay, let's try this one again. Could you just try to say something?
Yes, I'm saying something now.
Okay, weird. Okay, but it's coming out of the right thing, so we're making progress here. Baby steps, but progress nonetheless. So let's celebrate that. Okay, so Thought needs more time to fix this now. We can go back to Codex and just check where it's at. I want this game platform to be done soon now. I feel like it spent a lot of time doing this. But I wonder if we have actually solved the issue. Oh wait, that was not an object to walk into. I wonder if we've solved the issue of walking into objects. We haven't.
Stand up if you ready. Hands up if you ready. Say it loud if you ready. This our time, we run it. Clap your hands if you ready. Stomp your feet if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. This our time, we run it. Back on top feeling great. Back on top in the ranks. One shit one, number one, not the mother ones. Other ones feel fake. This our time, we run it. This our side, we on it. This our grind and we want it. Did it and done it, can't outrun it. Stand up if you ready. Hands up if you ready. Say it loud if you ready. This our time, we run it. Clap your hands if you ready. Stomp your feet if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. This our time, we coming. This our time, we coming. Ready? Say it free cause I can. Who these mini me's think I am? Why they envy me? Post threat on me but can't beat me when I'm on 10. Got me stuck on glue. I was stuck on you. ES ring, I went top speed. I've been top one in the booth. Put the game on snooze. Blessed like I choose. Doubted me, they outed me. Now I'm sitting here like proof. Now roll.
All right, let's let this one run for a little bit, and I'll just have a 5-minute break where I get some water.
If you ready, hands up if you ready. Say it loud if you ready. This our time, we run it. Clap your hands if you ready. Stomp your feet if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. This our time, we run it. Say it loud if you ready. Clap your hands if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. Stand up if you ready. Hands up if you ready. Say it loud if you ready. This our time, we run it. Clap your hands if you ready. Stomp your feet if you ready. Let it be cause you ready. This our time, we run it.
What happened to my music? Okay. Music is back. Great. Let's have a look at where Claude is at. Okay, so it's done. It should have fixed the issue now. Let's test this out. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Here and ready.
Could you just try to explain a little bit more about what you can do for me?
I can help operate this workbench, open settings or windows, inspect what's on screen when you ask me to look, read files in the workspace, search the web if search is configured, manage tasks, send messages to agents, and help debug things like voice or audio setup.
Okay, so clearly there's still some work to be done here. Let's see. 8. All right, let's see where Codex is at. Still working. Nice, the bug is now fixed, so when we walk into things, it no longer does this annoying thing, so cool. Ah, wait, it does. It can do that. But it's definitely better than it was before. So I think the next thing we need in this thing for it to be really useful is just a chat capability. So we want to be able to send messages and read messages. Possibly voice. So WebRTC. I think that would be proximity WebRTC would probably be preferable. So that's probably the next thing we should get it to do over the weekend. Cool. So Fast Coach now is now ready in a version where it can upload files. Let's just go back here. See, I think it's actually running a server here that it's using for something. See what Claude is up to. Still working. Okay, it's ready for us to test again, so let's do that. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Still here with you.
What can you do for me?
I can help operate this workbench. Inspect windows, read or edit files in the workspace, run checks, search the web if configured, manage apps and tasks, arrange windows, and message other agents. Tell me what you want done, and I'll take the next step.
Interesting. I could swear that I could have heard something in the background there. Okay. Okay, so I think what we need to do next, I mean, it's still tampering with the sound and we need to just figure out why. But I think we're getting closer. It's like whenever I start speaking, it turns down the volume of the other sound. So I'm just going to try to put it up here to see if that's really the case. Let's see if it turns it down now. It doesn't seem to turn it down substantially, only a little bit, but I can definitely see a change in the volume on my volume meter, or whatever that thing is called. Let's check what it actually writes here, because it might have some explanations. The class message fix worked, and none of the free flags name existed. Ship features leave the flag list combined with routing having worked throughout, while no flag was enabled. That's conclusive. The speaker selection has been on by default all along. No voice warning. But there were no docking lines at all, because I never logged any. This is why it took a second round. Why the oscillation? Talking was just against the room floor, whether or not anything was playing. The room floor is quiet and the assistant is not. I'm wondering if we're using the wrong approach here. I think what we should have is active cancellation of the voice from the assistant. So the thing is that when the agent speaks out, we do have the reference sound that it's making. So it should be maybe not easy, but easy enough to find the sequence when it starts speaking. Actually, let's change that to deep research. I don't know whether that's still a thing to tell it to deep research. It should figure that out by itself, but at this point, I'm so used to calling it deep research that that's just what we're going to do. Let's get back and check what Codex is doing. It's not Codex. This is Codex. All right, it's 5 o'clock here. It is time to turn off the stream. It's been a wonderful day, and I've really enjoyed doing these live streams. I hope you have enjoyed watching along as well. And I hope to see you again in the next live stream. Until then, take care and have a great weekend.